So you've probably heard the name Linux thrown around, right? Maybe from a developer friend or in some tech article. It always sounds like this powerful, kind of mysterious operating system that isn't Windows or Mac OS. But what is it really? And why should you care? Well, let's dive in and figure it out. In this explainer, we're going to pull back the curtain on the OS that quietly runs a massive chunk of our digital world. And here's the kicker. You are almost definitely using it every single day, probably without even realizing it. Yep, that's right. If you've got an Android phone in your pocket, you're using Linux. The whole Android system is built right on top of the Linux kernel. That's a whopping 85% of all smartphones on the entire planet. And it doesn't stop there. Anytime you stream a movie, use a web app, or do pretty much anything online, you're interacting with Linux. It is the undisputed king of the cloud, powering the huge majority of servers that make the internet actually work. So think about that. From your pocket to the cloud and all the way to outer space, Linux is trusted for the most critical jobs you can imagine, including every single one of SpaceX's incredible Falcon 9 missions. It's just that reliable, powerful, and crazy versatile. So here's our game plan. We'll start with its open source philosophy. Then we're going to pop the hood and see how it works. After that, we'll look at all the different flavors of Linux, help you figure out if it's right for you, and wrap up with its absolutely incredible legacy. To really get Linux, we have to start with its core idea, being open source. See, this wasn't some product dreamed up in a corporate boardroom. It was a passion project that completely accidentally sparked a global movement. So the stage was basically set back in the 80s with something called the GNU project. Their goal was to build a totally free operating system. But they were missing a crucial piece, the kernel. Then, out of nowhere in 1991, a student in Finland named Linus Torvalds announces he's building one, just for fun. By September, he puts the code online, and a few years later, bam, we have the official version 1.0. And what's just amazing is how humble this whole thing was. This is the actual announcement. Linus himself said it's just a hobby and that it won't be big and professional. He was just messing around trying to build something for his new PC. And that one little post ended up starting a revolution. Okay, so now let's pop the hood and see how Linux actually works. We're going to break down the main parts. It might sound a little technical, but it's actually a really elegant system, and a couple of simple analogies make it super clear. At the absolute heart of Linux is the kernel. This thing is the brain of the whole operation. Just think of it like a car's engine. It manages all the critical stuff, handing out memory, telling the processor what to do, controlling all the hardware. Everything else is built around this core. So if the kernel is the engine, how do you drive the car? Well, that's the shell. The shell is the interface that lets you give commands. It's your steering wheel, your gas pedal, your dashboard. It's how you talk directly to the engine and tell it what you want to do. And this lays out the whole process perfectly. You type a command into the shell, maybe something like, show me my files. The shell figures out what you mean and passes that instruction to the kernel. The kernel then tells the actual hardware, the physical hard drive, to do the work. It's that simple, that direct, and incredibly powerful. All right, now here's something that can be a little confusing for newcomers. There isn't just one single Linux. Nope, there are hundreds of different versions called distributions, or distros for short. But stick with me, because this is actually a feature, not a bug. So here's the key thing to remember. Every distro uses the exact same Linux kernel, the same engine, but they all package it differently. They bundle in their own software, their own tools, and their own unique look and feel. It's just like how Ford and Toyota can use the same type of engine, but build totally different cars around it. So let's look at a few of the big models. You've almost certainly heard of Ubuntu. It's backed by a company, it's super focused on being user-friendly, and it has this huge, easy-to-use software store. For a lot of people, Ubuntu is desktop Linux. Now, if you're coming over from the Windows world and you want something that feels comfortable right away, Linux Mint is fantastic. Its whole desktop is designed to feel familiar, with a start menu and a taskbar. It makes the switch incredibly smooth. And then you've got something like Fedora. This distro is all about being on the cutting edge. It's where a lot of new technologies get tested out. It's perfect for developers and tech enthusiasts who always want the latest and greatest stuff. Okay, so with all these different options, we get to the million-dollar question. Should you use Linux on your personal computer? To help you figure that out, let's put it side by side with its biggest rival, Windows. This table just breaks it down so clearly. The biggest differences are about money and philosophy.
Linux is totally free, and its source code is open for anyone to see and change. Windows costs money, and its code is locked down. And that basic difference leads to huge advantages for Linux in things like security and the insane amount of customization you can do.
So, what's the bottom line for you? Well, you should definitely choose Linux if you care about freedom and control. If you're a programmer, if you're serious about security, if you want to bring an old computer back to life, or if you just love to tinker and make your system truly yours, Linux is an amazing choice. On the flip side, let's be honest, Windows is still king for a few big reasons. If you absolutely need software like the Adobe Suite or Microsoft Office, if you're a hardcore gamer who needs the best compatibility, or if you just want an OS that works out of the box with zero fuss, Windows is often just the more practical way to go. So whether you end up using it on your desktop or not, you just can't deny the impact of Linux. Let's zoom back out one last time and just appreciate the massive footprint this little hobby project has left on the world. Just look at this statistic. It's not 90%. It's not 99. It's 100%. Every single one of the 500 fastest supercomputers on Earth runs on Linux. When it comes to serious, high-performance computing, there is literally no other choice. And that really brings us to the final thought here. The story of Linux isn't just about code, is it? It's this incredible proof of what a community can build when they decide to work together openly and freely. It started with one student's hobby, and it became the foundation for almost everything we do online. It makes you wonder, what else could we build with that same spirit?